Our message, your path, my path, your journey, my journey. One of the poems that struck me since I've been in high school was Robert Frost's The Road Not Taken. I'd like to begin with the beginning of this poem. Two roads diverge in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, as just a spare, but having perhaps the better claim because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same. Most of us can identify with the traveler's dilemma. There are choices, differing directions placed before us many times in our lives. We stand at a junction where the road splits off and goes in their own direction. In the beginning, some of these roads seem too similar and we don't know what to do. We stand there trying to decide what we should do and then take our first step on the road which appealed to us, our choice. Mr. Frost noted that we looked down one of the roads as far as we could. Then perhaps seeing nothing that particularly called out to us, we ventured forth on the second road, not really knowing where it would lead. And the journey holds surprises for us. Some broken pavement, some dirt, some mud, some filled with obstacles, some sandy, some grassy, on it goes, presenting different outlooks, different opportunities, different lessons for us, and they are a road of chance, a road of promise, and a road of life. For Jesus' disciples, this must have been the way things were. They decided to follow Jesus. They had been living their lives as best they could, but something was missing. Something was broken. Jesus called to them to come and become those who would bring the words that would capture the hearts of the broken and the alienated people, of the arrogant and uninterested societies. This would bring those words to us today, and the disciples followed, but not without encountering many hazards, as well as many opportunities to learn and serve. What has it been like for you? Think about the roads you have encountered and the decisions you have made. Most of you will feel pretty good about your decisions, believing them to be the right ones, given all the information you had at hand at that time. And maybe there were decisions you wished you didn't make. You wished you didn't take that road, but you have grown and learned from those decisions, and they have made you a better person. Or have they? I find that there were times in my life when I stood at the crossroads and wondered, what should I do? Or have wondered what things would have been like if I had followed another path, made a different choice. Choices. Many choices come to us. Little choices, big choices. What and whom should we follow? If we are left to our own devices, we wander helplessly around in circles. Jesus set his foot on a path. He kept his focus. One night he prayed to let things be different. Let this cup pass from me, O Lord, and quickly followed it with a statement of commitment to the very end. Nevertheless, not my will, but yours will be done. Peter, hearing Jesus' statement about going to Jerusalem where he would suffer at the hands of the religious and secular authorities, he tried to intervene, claiming that those things could not happen. Peter became an obstacle. He was frightened, and he could only see the danger. He was human. Jesus knew the path that he had to walk. He said, "Get behind me, Satan," to Peter. Not to call Peter Satan, but to say to him, do not let the world lead you in a different path. God has set a path for me. Jesus followed that path. God has set a path for each of his disciples then, and Jesus calls us to follow him now, to be willing to place our trust in him, to take up the cross, face forward and focus on the glorious goal. Can you let go of the path you might be on? Can you put your trust in Jesus? Can you walk on the road less traveled? Can you take a step on the pathway of hope and salvation? It is your choice. It is always your choice. The last verse of the poem. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. God bless all of you on your journey.